Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be solving quadratic equations. Specifically, we're going to be solving for x in either standard or intercept form equations. We're going to start off with some basic ones. I'm going to guide you how to do this, and then I'm going to do a class discussion where you will be taking notes and following along. And finally, you're going to try this out on your own. This is going to be your homework assignment, so make sure to be writing everything down at this moment. Solving this equation, we have to make sure that we set our equation equal to 0, how we do it down here. After doing so, we use inverse properties. In this case, we have to use the inverse operation of subtraction. We're going to use addition. We're going to add the same amount of number to both sides of the equation. And we get that these 9's reduce, and you're left with 0, which when we add 0, you don't need to write it down. But here you bring down the x squared, and here you get 9. Now, from this point, to get rid of the squared, to solve for x, you have to apply the inverse operation of squared, which in this case is square root. And we're going to square root both sides of the equation to get our answer to be the absolute value of x is equal to 3. So that means that x can either be 3 or x can either be negative 3. To do so, we can start applying inverse operations, such as to get rid of the negative 25. In this case, we will add 25 to both sides of the equation. Right? Once we finish doing so, these 25's reduce, and you get 0. When you add 0, you don't need to write it down. 0 plus 25 gives you 25 that you're looking for. Now, to get rid of the squared, we have to apply the square root, same as we did in the previous problem, right? We're going to square root both sides, right? And once we get rid of the square roots and the squared, we get that 25, the square root of 25 to be 5 is equal to the absolute value of x plus 4. Now, when we solve for the absolute value of x plus 4, that means that we get two equations. We get x plus 4 equals 5, and we get x plus 4 equals negative 5, right? So to solve the first equation, we have to subtract 4 to both sides, minus 4 to get that our x is equal to 1. When we solve for this equation, we do the same thing, subtract 4 to both sides, but in this case, because we have negative 5 and negative 4, we actually get that x is equal to negative 9. I want you to go ahead and try to solve for x in this equation. I went ahead to set the equation equal to 0. So, for this equation, you have to do the same exact steps. Here we're going to subtract 49 to both sides, subtract 49 to both sides, and to get their 49's reduced, and now we get negative 49 is equal to negative parentheses x minus 2 squared. Now, before you get rid of the square root, there is a negative that we want to get rid of. So in this case, we're going to get rid of the negative 1 by dividing by negative 1, and now my negatives reduce, and here I get that 49 is equal to quantity x minus 2 squared, right? So now I want to get rid of the square by applying the square root, which is an inverse operation, and I apply the square root to both sides, and you get that 7 is equal to the absolute value of x minus 2. From here, you're going to solve for both equations, and you're going to get that x is equal to 9 and x is equal to negative 5. For homework, you will be solving for x of, in this equation, you have x squared minus 12x plus 36. As a hint, you have to make sure that you change the standard form into intercept form. Okay? Good luck.